Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, Lock Shoppers? Thank you very much for being here. Dusty with you. Hustle be by right away as well. If you are watching over on the YouTube chat, chime in. Mark A over there says all Canadian teams hockey parlay hit last night at 16-1. Ooh, not bad. That worked out okay. We also hit the Lock Shop partner parlay yesterday with the Oilers getting that dub later on against the San Jose Sharks, which was nice. We've got a poker tournament that we're going to get to. We've got NHL Slate tonight. Ovi looks for a Hattie tonight if you want to get in on that. And CFL futures are up as well over at Coolbet. So that is great news. Let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk today, and of course, co-host of The Lock Shop. Huss, what's going on, buddy?
Well, huge win last night for the Jets.
Big win.
Nothing in Vegas. Needed it. I've had a great morning. Just went and picked up my car. We're
how many days a week? If we were setting the over/under, Huss, on how many days of the week you have to go pick up your car in the morning? If I set it at 2.5, is it over or under?
No, it's under because I usually don't take a car.
Makes sense, yeah.
I was, as it turned out yesterday, I was doing a couple things. I was going to go back and then get one of my buddies to pick me up or walk. And then I realized I was basically right there and I wanted to see the Dallas-Nashville game, which meant I was there at just after 7 o'clock. It was a 9 o'clock start. The team won and we had much revelry after the win. So, it was an easy decision. Grab an Uber, and I'm just impressed and giving myself the Barry Horowitz pat on the back that I was able to get up, get the thing back, and be all ready to go in time for Lock Shop.
There's a responsible adult, Huss. Hey, that's what we have to say.
It's a professional operation over here, Dusty. Much like we were professional yesterday with picking winners back in the W column. And we don't normally do 4 gamers. I love the way we went through it. We had 2 games that we liked. We picked 2 bigger favorites that we thought were, and I kind of do think, I mean, the Oilers / Blues, ironically, those were the 2 games that were tight. Blues won in OT, Oilers won 3-2. But again, that's why we didn't get cute with puck lines or anything. Let's just get those teams to win, bang it out. And obviously the Kings had a great game and so did the Flames. And those were the shorter odd numbers that we sort of started the parlay around. So, listen, wins for the Oilers, wins for the Jets, wins for the Lock Shop. I mean, that is the vibe we want going into the weekend. And of course, Sunday night, the April edition of the Lock Shop Poker Tourney. I'm can't wait. We got a game for somebody Saturday night.
Right? What's that?
Yeah. I mean, we got a game. When do the Oilers play this weekend?
Saturday. They play the Kings Saturday afternoon.
Ooh, Kings. That'll be in Edmonton or in LA?
It's on the road in LA. They got LA and Anaheim left on this road trip. So we'll see how it goes. It's a huge game, but McDavid's not going to play, and Draisaitl left last night's game. So if he doesn't play, they're going to have like a Herculean effort from Pickard to maybe stand on his head and steal one in LA.
Did they say anything last night about after the game?
It was a classic no update from Knobloch, but he didn't finish the game. So it must have been something that was bothering him quite a bit. And it was weird because they showed on the broadcast last night, probably 3 or 4 different shots of him at different times being like, maybe it happened here. He stepped on the puck behind the net as he was swooping back to pick it up, went to kind of step over it or kick it up and stepped on it and kind of stretched out his leg a little bit. So, they were in an okay spot last night. They were playing pretty well last night. And, no reason to push him in the third period against San Jose right now. So hopefully he's okay.
I immediately looked to see what the Hart Trophy odds were this morning. Because, I mean, let's face it, if Draisaitl misses, like, if it's a groin injury and they're like, okay, we're not, like, we're in the playoffs, we know we're playing LA, we're not screwing around with this, and they sit him for the next couple weeks, that will, I mean, we saw what happened the last time he got hurt and they didn't know when he was coming back. He went to plus 400.
Yeah.
So he's minus 167 now. I think yesterday he was more like minus 200. And I think Helly was at plus 150. Right now it's minus 167 for Dry. And Hellebuck is plus 110. And actually, funny enough, McKinnon's number went from 10-1 yesterday to 6-1 today. Did he go crazy?
What a jump.
You go crazy in that game. I think there's probably some the logic. I'm just trying to put myself into the minds of the bookmakers. And again, this is a voted on award. We know there's a bias against goaltenders, just naturally. You know, there's the Vezina Trophy. We hear it all the time. I think what this is saying that it's almost a hedge on if Draisaitl is hurt and, you know, misses some time, and there are the voters that will not be voting for Hellebuck, a goalie, that maybe a lot of the Draisaitl support ends up going to McKinnon. Now, again, he's still 6-1, but again, that's a big jump from 10-1 to 6-1 last night. And the funny thing is, the Jets got a shutout, but it was Eric Comrie in net.
Yeah.
It wasn't Hellebuck last night. That was a huge topic on our show yesterday. But man, I mean, you know, we thought it was baby swag. He hasn't had the baby yet. So it was pre-baby swag.
Pre-baby swag. That's
bump,
new.
The baby bump before the baby has been born. So anyways, it was a great game last night. Jets needed it big time after that game in LA. And man, they played good. And I'll tell you what, had a good chat after the game with a certain friend and former host with myself that happens to work for the Vegas Golden Knights last night. And he thought that the team was being a little difficult, you know, like they know what they have to do when they play the right way. Like, as Bruce Cassidy says, they're pretty damn good and pretty hard to beat. He said that it hasn't been consistent enough, and it certainly wasn't. Like, I don't think there was anyone that was particularly really good last night for the Knights. But the Jets, I mean, to their credit, they knew the assignment. They hadn't beaten the Knights in like 2 years. I think the last time they beat them, in fact, was game 1 of the playoff series 2 years ago. And then obviously it was the gentleman's sweep. The Jets won 1, Vegas won the next 4. So that was a big win. And of course, Dallas just keeps going. I mean, I watched this Dallas game. Nashville's all over Dallas, 17-6 in shots in the first period, I think it was.
And that's happened all the time with the Stars right now, isn't it? Like, dude, Edmonton did that. Calgary did that.
You know, they're winning games that sometimes they don't deserve to win. And you hope that at some point there'll be a hiccup. I still think that this is going to come down to next Thursday's game, Jets at Dallas. But, hey, if the Jets can take care of business, that's a big win last night. They've got Utah on Saturday. They got the Blues at home on Monday, and then that game. And after Dallas, the schedule lightens up a little bit. You got Chicago, you got the Oilers, and we'll see, I mean, what the Oilers are trying to do in the last week of the season, who's playing. I mean, I think all of that could be up in the air. And then the final game of the season is the Anaheim Ducks. So a huge week for Winnipeg moving forward. And I'm just looking, Central Division odds right now have actually, the win for the Jets was big yesterday. They're now minus 303 to win the Central, and Dallas is 2-1 at plus 200. I think Dallas yesterday was plus 150, knowing that the Jets had a really tough game on the road in Dallas, but they got it done. You know what? I'm just looking at this, dude. How about this new market on the NHL futures? To win a playoff series.
Oh, that's new. Yeah.
To win 1+ playoff series. The Capitals are minus 250. The Panthers and the Hurricanes are minus 217. Vegas and Dallas are minus 200. The Jets are minus 175. The Oilers are minus 161. And then the Leafs, Lightning, and Avalanche are all minus 115. I find the Avalanche number interesting. I guess it's minus 115 because they're going to be the road team and they're playing either Winnipeg or Dallas.
Winnipeg or Dallas, yeah.
And it's basically a pick 'em on either side. The Leafs number is funny to me, though. I mean, they've got the advantage to win the Atlantic Division. And of course, if that happens, in all likelihood, they'll be playing the Ottawa Senators, and yet their number is still minus 115. Now, they could not win the division, and then you're getting Tampa or Florida in the first round. But I found that number a little interesting just because they are first place right now. I mean, they have the same number as Tampa.
For those of you who might be wondering, where are the 11 win in a row St. Louis Blues, who will be basically facing Vegas likely, plus 225 for the St. Louis Blues to win a series. That's kind of at the bottom of it before it really drops off. Then you get down to the Rangers, the Habs, Blue Jackets, etc. But St. Louis, man, they just will not be stopped. Robert Thomas, overtime last night, picked up another one, 11 in a row. Hell of a run right now for the St. Louis Blues. Plus 225 for the Blues to win at least one playoff series.
You know what blows me away? The Blues have longer odds to win a series than the Wild do.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Like,
why would that be the case? Like, they're thinking that.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Those teams are going to be playing either Winnipeg, Dallas, or Vegas. I think it's most likely that St. Louis finishes in the first wild card and plays Vegas. And if that's the case, I mean, certainly St. Louis is going to be an underdog. But would they be a bigger underdog than Minnesota playing against Winnipeg or Dallas? I don't really think so. Like, put it this way. I mean, if you're asking me what's a better number and what's a better play on that one, I'll take St. Louis at plus 225 over Minnesota at plus 200 in a heartbeat. Who knows? Maybe that will change. Sens and Devils are plus 160. And the Kings, plus 125. Oilers minus 161. And in a lot of ways, you can basically look at that, and
that's a series price.
That's pretty much going to be the series price.
Yeah, that's essentially series price. Yeah, that's probably going to be the series price. Mind you, just throw this out there. The Kings are only 3 points back of Vegas right now, Huss, and they've played the same amount of games. So, and the Oilers are a couple points back of the Kings. The Kings' schedule is, I'll take a look at Vegas' schedule here in a sec, but the Kings get the Oilers. Then they get the Kraken and the Ducks. Then they get the Avs. Then they come to Edmonton, and they wrap with Seattle and Calgary. So, I mean, Colorado and Edmonton twice. The rest of those games aren't really world beaters for the Kings. And let's see what Vegas has left.
I got Vegas up here right now. Vegas is in Calgary on Saturday, in Vancouver on Sunday, at Colorado next Tuesday. Then they're home to Seattle, home to Nashville, and then they go back to Calgary and Vancouver on the road for their final two games of the season. So 2 games at Calgary, 2 games at Vancouver, home against Nashville, home against Seattle, and
a little bit easier
game against Colorado. Well, especially now with these teams being, with Calgary and Vancouver basically being done.
Yeah, even if it is back-to-back, they play in Calgary, Vancouver back-to-back twice, like one night and then the next night. So quick turnarounds, but I would think
Calgary's not quitting though. Calgary, we saw it last night. Calgary's going to keep on. Like these guys do not care.
I mean, by April 15th, they might be a little down in the dumps and out of it. But the next one, you're right. I would agree with the next one, which will be Saturday.
On Saturday, there's going to be that'll be a tough out. And Bruce Cassidy, I'm sure, will be looking for his team to be considerably better than they were last night. But again, a lot of the credit goes to Winnipeg for the way that they played last night. But yeah, great night in the NHL yesterday. And tonight, there's only 3 games, but you know what everyone's talking about?
Ovi tonight.
Ovi time.
So I got him yesterday for the Hattie. Basically, the Chicago play at plus 1750. And then today, for him to score 3 goals tonight was plus 2,000. That was this morning. For him to score one goal tonight was like when it was this morning, because we took a run at the other. We might as well stick with the NHL. Then we'll get to the leaderboard in Valero. We'll get to the CFL futures we've got as well. We got a poker tournament on Sunday that we can definitely discuss. But this morning, I think the number for Ovi to score tonight was minus 147. I saw Big Uke over in the chat being like, Ovi to score tonight must be the most bet thing on all of Coolbet right now. It's at minus 149. Actually, that is what it was this morning. So Ovi to get one tonight, minus 149. To get two tonight, plus 275. And with the commish and Gretzky and everybody in the house against a Chicago team that, as Chris Johnson pointed out on our show this morning, Chicago's the only team in the league to not have a shutout this year. Like, you can score goals against the Chicago Blackhawks. Alexander Ovechkin to get the hat trick tonight, 20-1. I'm on it. And not only am I on it, somebody dared me to parlay it with the Blue Jays today. So I did that as well. So I'm on the Jays plus an Ovi Hattie tonight.
I just got on the plus 2,000 for the hat trick.
You got to be on it just in case it happens, right? If it happens and we weren't on it at 20-1, we'd be pissed.
We talked about it for like half an hour last night. Like, this is the spot. If he's going to go out and have a big game, like, watch if he can score like in the first half of the first period,
then it's on, right? Like,
it's going to be exactly like what? Okay, what's Ovi's shot prop tonight?
Well, let's see.
3.5 over one minus 167. That's like, I would love to see a 5.5 or 6.5 or 7.5. Like, I would take a major alt line on Ovechkin tonight.
There is a road to 895 combo card at the top of Coolbet right now. That's plus 168. Ovi will score and have over 3.5 shots. So just the one goal tonight, over 3.5 shots against Chicago, plus 168.
I don't mind that.
I think I'm going to get on that myself here.
I mean, that. if you like him to score, it's basically parlaying the goal with the over 3.5. But I love it. Oh, we got an afternoon delight up too. Cubs, Jays, and Yankees. You have to touch that one as well while we're just before
perusing around
and forget it all. Yeah, I mean, as far as the games tonight, like, we'll kind of talk more about this Ovechkin, but there's only three. The Hurricanes, minus 192 favorites in Detroit against the Wings. The Caps are minus 388 favorites at home against the Blackhawks. That's right. This is a home game as well.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going on the road. Like, he'll want to break it at home.
This is the all-time. He's got 3 home games left. I went over the schedule today. He gets Carolina at home, and then which is going to be a good one after what happened last game. That's next Thursday. And then Columbus. One of those 2 Columbus games are at home too, right, on the weekend.
Yeah.
So.
And then that's the Wild Islanders. Plus 106 for Minnesota, minus 125 for the Minnesota Wild. Kind of tough with a minus 388 favorite to. And listen, we're not taking the Caps puck line, even if we know that's a no.
You know, maybe this is the time, though, right? Like Chicago, like.
It probably is. It probably is, man.
It probably is.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Who is in net for the Hawks tonight?
It is Spencer Knight. I'm looking at it right now. Spencer Knight versus Charlie Lindgren. Those are both confirmed. Talbot's going to go for the Red Wings, Kochetkov for the Hurricanes, and then Gustafsson and Sorokin in the Minnesota-New York Islanders game.
Well, Spencer Knight's got a long, illustrious career ahead of him, but he might be made famous tonight by Alexander Ovechkin.
Would you want to be that goalie? We were asked today. We were talking about this morning. Like, would you want to be the guy who's on the highlight reel of 895?
I mean, hey, listen, he scored on everybody. Now, would I want to be the guy that's 893, 894, and 895? Probably not.
That would be tough.
But again, a young player like that on a overmatched team like the Blackhawks, I mean, no one's going to be saying, oh, Ovi got the record. Spencer Knight is a bust.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it'll be like in the moment, you might be pissed, but it'll be a fun conversation.
Do you remember who the goalie was when Wayne Gretzky set the record?
No.
See, so there's that. I mean, you might not remember, but it was Kirk McLean. It was against the Vancouver Canucks. Marty McSorley threw it across to him, and Gretzky put it home. So
it's funny. Ovi and Gretzky have both had tons of milestones against the Jets. The Jets were always that team. That's why Ovechkin and the Caps came, what was it, last week, March 25th? And earlier on in the season, we were kind of looking at, okay, he's going to get, this is before he broke his leg. We're like, you know what? This game at the end of March could absolutely be it. He had his 600th against the Jets. He had his ceremony honoring his 700th against the Jets, and then scored 801 and 802 to pass Gordie Howe against the Jets. Pretty sure Gretzky had 2,000 points against Winnipeg. There's been a bunch. So the fact that that wasn't really on the table because of the injury, maybe it was good to not have Winnipeg once again on the on all the highlight reels for a big Ovechkin goal. But maybe it'll be the Blackhawks tonight. I think, put it this way, with everything on the line, with the opponent, this is as good a value on a hat trick bet, I think, as you will ever get.
yeah.
Like, I kind of thought that this would be more like 10-1, to be frank. I mean, and really, like, they don't even need to win the game. Like, it's going to be about Ovechkin. Everybody's there. They want this over, to be honest with you. So let's I'm looking for now. Is this on national TV tonight? Do you know?
I mean, it's got to be carried on. I would think. I mean, why would Sportsnet not have the Ovi watch on full blast right now? Somebody can confirm. I'll take a look at my TELUS TV app here and see, but it should be.
And the Jays are playing in the afternoon too. So it's not like they'll be on. Yeah, I would be shocked if this is not on. Yep, it's on Sportsnet tonight.
Okay, makes sense. Like across the board, probably there's a bunch of it tonight.
6 o'clock in Winnipeg, 5 o'clock in 5 o'clock in Edmonton.
Well, we'll have eyes on it.
Let's lock in on this one. And yeah, I'm not even, well, you know what? I'll hit the combo card. I'll hit the goal and the 3.5 shots.
I'm on that as well. And then I got the sprinkle on the hat trick too, which would be a very memorable hat trick if we can pull that bad boy off. The EST parlay yesterday kind of got hosed. It was in such a good spot too, because we were on Oilers puck line, Draisaitl 2 points, Bouchard assist, and Arvidsson point. And they scored a goal that was Arvidsson from Draisaitl and Bouchard. I was just like, oh, perfect. Like, we're good to go. And then Draisaitl gets hurt, leaves the game. There would have been another point coming for Draisaitl and probably would have covered the puck line too. So when I saw that goal, I was like, oh, when you have everybody, you've been there with that Jets game. I was like, okay, like this is a sign. We're hitting it tonight. And then Draisaitl steps on a puck or falls around a guy, whatever it is that he ended up getting banged up. And we got screwed on that one. So
Mark A saying amazing value. A different site I saw was only offering 11-1 for a hat trick. Once again, F-Dog and the Coolbet boys.
They're not messing around. They are not messing around.
Say.
Huss, before we move on to some other stuff, we got some CFL futures. I'm bringing up the leaderboard right now at, there's Daniel Berger, 4 under today, 6 under for the tourney. What do you think of these new NWO EST inspired shirts?
I was just about to bring it up, actually. They are so cool.
They're nice, eh?
They're so cool. I'm like, oh my God, we may need to do a WST version. I mean, we are the, and then we can do like a 2 sweet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I guess I don't know anything about it, but everybody's been doing it all day. So.
Oh yeah, the boys are firing out the NWO. No, listen, NWO, maybe the most iconic faction in pro wrestling history. EST, maybe the most iconic faction in Edmonton sports media history. So you know what? And they were also called the Outsiders. And we've kind of been the outsiders for a long time, and yet it's all happening.
It works out very well. And this shirt is actually this. What's that?
Was that an LTE idea? Who was the?
We were talking about one morning because we teamed up with like a local store here. They've got 5 locations, and they're like, "We want to do a shirt with you guys." And we're like, "Okay." So we were talking about it on the Nasty Chat one morning. Somebody's like, "Guys, this is an easy one. Make a play on the NWO." I was like, "Okay." So yeah, these are available today, starting in stores. A store here called 780. They're in 5 different malls, and first time ever outside of our beer, obviously, that you could go in and get in the Birdie Booze, but like first piece of clothing that we've actually had like in a mall in a store. So should sell pretty well throughout the weekend, I think.
Spency 5 cents. WST can have the red version. Real ones know what he's talking about there. After the NWO split, and there was the NWO red and the NWO black, it got that big. And then Scotty knows WSC should roll with the WCW inspired logo for the rivalry era. I love it. Listen, I'm here for any wrestling reference.
Yeah.
And if we can tie that into merch with what we're doing, 100%. But that is a 10 out of 10 ES tiers. You know what? I think you're going to see a lot of those around. That will be like such a popular.
Well, somebody was saying it was like one of the most popular T-shirts in wrestling history.
Oh,
right, like
100%. Probably outside of Stone Cold, like the Austin 316. I'm pretty sure that's the number one selling. I mean, maybe the Hulkamania, you know, with all that, but I just think wrestling's so much bigger and was bigger as it grew. But literally, the NWO stuff was ever. I may have to look that up. What is the Wolf Pack for life? Oh my God, that is awesome. Yeah, keep the comments coming in the chat, everybody, with your thoughts on it. But where do people get those again?
780. It's where was it? Londonderry Mall. It's like 780 is our area code. So there's a store called 780 that teams up with a lot of like local merchants and stuff and puts stuff out. Sure. They've got a few of their own brands. Really great guy, cool guy. He helped us give away that trip to LA that we gave away in December. And so, yeah, great guy. And, he just likes working with local people. And so it made a lot of sense. So they're in, for everybody listening locally here, they're in Southgate Mall, Londonderry Mall, Kingsway Mall, the Outlet Mall out by the airport, and another mall that I forget, Londonderry, Kingsway, and St. Albert Center out in St. Albert. So if you want to get these, they're available today, and bit of a limited run to start at the store. So if you want to snag one, make sure you head out here over the weekend and try to track one down.
Lingus 99. I don't go to malls, but I will be after work today. EST for life.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Love to see it.
Busta Himes. I'll pre-order one now, Huss. Well, we'll get working on our
pre-ordering one now. Yeah. I also like Lingus, who's just straight up, I don't go to malls. Like that's his thing. Like regardless of the size of the mall, he doesn't go to malls, but he's going to make an exception. So that's nice.
Hey, listen, nice. I'm right there with you, Lingus. I've been to a mall once since the pandemic. And that was because the place that I normally get a haircut was closed and I was leaving and I had to do it. And I knew I could go there and get it done.
I live 5 minutes. I live 5 minutes from the biggest mall, like West Edmonton Mall. And I love going to the mall. I'm a big mall guy. We're the exact opposite. I love the mall. There's so much going on in that mall. I love it. I like going to malls. Big mall. Food courts, tons of fun stuff. Like,
is it still like healthy? Like, like it's full.
All the stores are West Edmonton Mall is packed. There's like the one section where it's like all the Gucci's and like all the fancy ones. Like it's West Edmonton Mall. I would think West Edmonton Mall is still thriving. I think I'd go as far as saying thriving. I really would.
Interesting.
And as we just realized on the show earlier this week, Huss, on the Nielsen show, somebody pointed out, has the largest parking lot in the world. Which I refuse to believe for quite some time, but people like Dusty, go look it up. And it has the most parking stalls out of any parking lot on Earth, which I still think might be bogus and like hasn't been updated as other things have been made. But apparently the 20,000 parking spots is the biggest parking lot in the world.
I'm just trying to think about how many parking spots there are at the at like Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium. I mean, that's acres and acres.
This is what I'm talking about. I mean, like the 20,000. Come on, like. Now there's multi-layers. Like some parts around the mall have 3 levels.
Okay.
It still seems like a bit of a bogus claim. But what am I going to do? I'm going to go count every single spot at West Edmonton Mall. Like,
we remain skeptical, but plenty of parking available at West Edmonton Mall, in case you're wondering.
Yeah,
you'll be able to get a spot. It's not
except
Costco
I was pissed because
Saturday
at Christmas time, there's still no spots. Supposedly the biggest parking lot in the world. You go at Christmas time, you still have to circle around for 20 bloody minutes. So, yeah. Jet Oil Tom says, I hated West Edmonton Mall when I grew up there. But now when I'm in town, I'm there. It's fun, man. I like West Edmonton Mall. All right, so Valero, Keith Mitchell, who's leading yesterday, has yet to tee off. He was 8 under. Nobody's passed him yet from today's rounds. Ryder's 7 under. Daniel Berger had a great day, 4 under.
Oh, yeah.
He fired a 68, so he's at 6 under. That's nice. By the way, Pat Mayo will be on the Nielsen show tomorrow, Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to have Mayo on.
Nice.
But it was funny because you texted me like, I gave Mayo your number. He's going to reach out. So I thought he was asking me to come on one of his things. And I was like, damn, man, like, I don't know enough about the Masters compared to you, Pat Mayo. And then so we went back and forth on this. And then I said, okay. I said, well, just fire me the link. Like we set a time and everything. And then I said, well, just fire me the link. He goes, no, you fire me the link. I said, what's going on here? Who's firing me the link? He's like, no, I'm going to come on your show to talk Masters. I was like, oh, okay, we'll send you the link. So it was this big thing. I was all confused. I was like, what do you mean? I'm going to say, you're sending me the link. He's like, no, I'm coming. So anyway, Mayo's going to be on Tuesday.
That'll be a great way. And again, you don't even need to wait for next week. If you go in there, you can click on the Pat's link or just go into the promos and put in can open and just opt in. And then whenever you're making your Masters picks, every single time you bet 10, you'll be in for that awesome Canadian Open trip, which is a couple days of the golf tournament, the Blue Jays game on Thursday night, and the that PME live show that is going to be a hell of a lot of fun with Pat, Jeff, and Cust and the fellas. So I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. If you are betting Masters, just opt in before you make your bets, and good luck in what should be another amazing trip prize, courtesy of the folks at Coolbet. I mean, speaking of Mayo, so he came on my show on Wednesday before the Valero. And obviously we let everyone know, because if you were making Valero bets, those also went into the draw. But he had two boosted parlays, or one boosted parlay of Berger and Bud Cauley, both T20. I was boosted up to 7-1 or plus 699. And then the Berger number, which was 33-1, Berger to win was boosted in the exclusives to 40-1.
Yeah.
And then it actually dropped to 30-1 in the regular numbers. So, I mean, that 40-1 on Danny Berger is looking pretty damn good right now, as he is T3. But the other guy that he mentioned, he goes, Huss, you want a real long shot? How about Stephen Fink? 250-1. And he went down some, bunch of the numbers. He goes, hey, this guy could absolutely be DFL. But great ball striking. If he can actually get a few putts to go down, he could be live. Well, he was tied for third yesterday. He's 4 under right now. He tees off this afternoon. We could very well see that 250. Like last week, it was toasty time.
Yeah.
We could be all in on the Fink for anyone that jumped on that at 250-1.
I think it's Fisk, but I like referring to him as Fink more.
Me.
I like him, Stephen Fisk, but I like him just being the Fink.
I'm getting him mixed up with my buddy Dan Fink of the voice of the Manitoba Moose. But yeah, that'll be his nickname, Stephen the Fink Fisk.
Yeah. All right, it is the Lock Shop. Nielson and Huss with you. You can text us anytime. 780-218-9999. See, Bones just texted me. He's at the 780 location out by the mall And there's our T-shirts in a stack in a store, which is pretty damn sweet.
Hey, one other thing, just from we are on a bit of a sweat right now with Akshay. Bhatia is even right now. He's 2 under for his round, but he shot 74 yesterday. So he's T70. It looks like, right now the projected cut line is -1. So both Ludwig Åberg, the favorite, and Akshay need a birdie on 17 or 18 to get to -1. I guess there's a chance that guys could come back, but it doesn't really look like that. So some nervous moments for Åberg and Bhatia backers over the course of the next half hour as they finish these final 2 holes.
Huss, I texted you last night because I'm sitting around the office yesterday, and Maddie Iwanek was like, well, we've got some CFL futures. I was like, what? How did I not know about this? How come nobody texted me and said we got CFL futures? So we've got MOP, we've got regular season win totals, and then obviously we've got the Grey Cup winner, the Argos, the favorite right now at +325. But regular season win totals for the CFL are now out. Have you looked at these, Huss?
Very briefly.
So if we were to play a game of guess the line for the team, would you know the answers already?
No.
Okay, good. Then let's do this. Because I did this yesterday. The boys did this with me yesterday. All right, let's just whip right across the league. That's nice because it's just a 9-team league.
This is win totals. Win totals out of 18.
Win totals out of the 18. All right, and then we'll get to the MOP, the MOP odds too. BC Lions. What do you think it's at?
BC Lions 10.5.
9.5.
Okay.
All right. So BC 9.5.
What's the over on that?
-125.
Okay.
So, yeah. The Edmonton Elks.
8.5.
Close. 8. It's at 8. I guessed 8.5 yesterday as well.
I was just assuming that they'd all be.
There's some flat numbers here. Montreal Alouettes.
Alouettes. 9.5.
10.5.
Okay.
Big Davis Alexander believers.
Right.
The Riders.
The Riders.
Flat number.
10.
10. Correct. Bombers.
10.5.
10. Sorry, I should have said flat number. You would have got it. Calgary Stampeders. Not a flat number.
7.5.
6.5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Ticats. Not a flat number.
Ticats, 9.5.
8.5. Red Blacks. Red Blacks and Argos are both flat numbers. What do you got?
Red Blacks and Argos, both flat numbers. Red Blacks, 9. Argos, 11.
Argos are 11. Highest total in the league. Ottawa's actually at a 10. Ottawa's at a 10. So you've got Ottawa, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg at 10. Montreal at 10.5. Argos at 11. So what's the best number that we just laid out there, do you think? If you had to get on one right now. I'll give them to you one more time so you can quickly think. Lions, 9.5.
I've pulled them up right now.
Oh, you got them up? Okay.
So the Ticats at Riders. To be honest, you could make an argument that it's the Elks. The Elks, because if they go 8 and 10, you push.
You're pushing.
And I think that this team could be a 500 team. To be honest, the under on Ottawa, maybe I'm at 10.
-119.
That Bomber number, I think, is. Although they always seem to find a way. On the Bombers, I don't think that would be the best bet. But
what were some of the numbers been on the Bombers recently? And weren't they 11.5s and 12.5s? And I know this is not that Bombers team, but. I think one of Saskatchewan or Winnipeg are going to hit that over. Maybe not rather comfortably, but I think there's a 12-win team somewhere in the West.
Who's going to be the worst team? The Stamps, probably, at least on paper. Certainly that's by the number.
Probably the Stamps, but I also got a lot of respect for Vernon Adams. And they have, who'd they bring in? They got Reggie, and then who else did they bring in? Dominic Rhymes? I think they signed Rhymes. Calgary? So did Rhymes sign in Calgary? They brought in another really good receiver to play alongside Reggie Bagleton. Is it Rhymes? I think it was Rhymes. Anyway, I mean, VA will have some weapons there. But what can they do on the defensive side of the ball, I guess, might be the question.
The Grey Cup odds are interesting. Top two teams, both in the East.
I know.
Like, when was the last time that happened? Argos plus 325. Alouettes plus 450. Bombers not far back off that, but plus 475. Then a bit of a gap, and you get to Saskatchewan at plus 725. BC and Ottawa at 8-1. The Elks at plus 1150. Ticats at plus 1650, and the Stamps 23-1. Which for the CFL is a long number. I mean, Montreal won it 2 years ago, was the longest odds on the board from the beginning of the season.
That's right.
They were 19-1. They were 19-1. So that's actually even a longer number right now. I love the fact that we've got MOP odds, though, right?
I know.
Now, in advance of the season.
That's they've got 30 different players available too. Well, more maybe even. That looks like it might be more. How many guys do they have? No, there's at least 30 guys that you can look at here right now. So
who votes on the MOP?
A select group of members of the media, I believe. Not me. Mm-hmm. Wait a sec. I vote on it up until the final stage. Like, I vote for East MOP, West MOP. Trying to think if I vote for the final or if they take it to like a bit of a smaller committee.
Well, the reason I bring that up is that the media, and I'm not saying this isn't justified, I don't think they like Chad Kelly very much. And Chad Kelly is the favorite at plus 425. I'm here to tell you right now that if it's a close vote between Chad Kelly and someone else, he ain't getting any of those.
He's gonna have to run away with like a passing title to win the MOP this year.
Totally. And obviously the Argos, I think, would also have to be the top team. So I think, when you go down and you look, I mean, it's obviously the quarterbacks are more often than not the place where you want to look at. It's an interesting group at 10-1. So Rourke is 7-1. And that number probably would have been like 2-1 if he didn't struggle the way he did at the end of the season after he came back. So if you're a Rourke believer and a believer in BC with the full training camp and offseason, knowing what he's doing, you could probably do a lot worse than a 7-1 play on Rourke. But then the 10-1, Zach Caleros, Davis Alexander, Drew Brown, and 11-1s on Brady Oliveira and Trevor Harris. Bo Levi is 16-1. Trey Ford 20. VA 20. VA at 20 is interesting. If the Calgary Stampeders make the playoffs, and it's the CFL, man, anything can happen. And he comes in as the guy that's taken the team that had the lowest odds in the league to be competitive and be in the playoffs. It's voted on for the regular season. I'll be honest. I think I will put a sprinkle down on VA at 20-1. Just kind of betting on the guy because they're not going to have to do what Kelly's going to have to do with the Argos, I think, to win the award. I think he's starting at like such a perceived deficit that if they can go 10-8 and make the playoffs, I think Vernon Adams is a guy that's going to get a ton of support and everyone loves him too. That's another reason why he'll get the benefit of the doubt in those.
I would think if Vernon Adams gets Calgary to the playoffs and is a top 3 passer in the league, this is as good as value I think you're going to find on the board right now. And was it last year or was it the year before? But he was an MOP front runner. I guess it would have been last year before he got hurt.
Last year.
And then he got hurt, right? He had that great start to the year. And then he got hurt, but the guy's capable of slinging it, man. Like, he's at the stage of his career, he can go for 5,000. And it was Dominic Rhymes, a guy that he's very familiar with, joining Reggie Bagleton as a really good 1-2 punch in that Calgary offense. And then they got some younger receivers too that may have been a bit of an issue recently, but if they can get a couple of those guys going, then VA he could work some magic. Like, I like the VA number at 20-1 more than Drew Brown and Davis Alexander at 10-1.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think those numbers should kind of be like, again, we're not talking about winning the Grey Cup here. We're talking about MOP for the season. What do you have to do? Have big passing yards. And let's face it, if Calgary's given up a lot, which they may very well do that just means they're going to need to throw more. They're going to need to put up. I mean, in a couple of the years where Zach was so good and, winning the award, what went against it was sometimes, the Bombers would be smoking teams by so much, they just call the dogs off or bring in backups or put in, run the football more in the second half and just run the clock down. I think if they're going to win games, it's going to be on the arm of Vernon Adams, and he will be putting it up. So the more we talk this through, I really like VA at 20-1. Again, it's a 20-1 bet. It's not like it's a sure thing by any stretch of the imagination, but when you compare some of those other numbers that are up, the situation that he's going in, I think he could get a lot of steam behind him if he does have a good season and the Stamps are more competitive than most people think. He'll get the credit for that.
Nielson and Huss with you. Lots to look at in the Canadian Football League. Football camps, draft will be later in April, and then camps will open in May. And by the beginning of June, we are playing regular season CFL football, which I'm very excited to get back at. Should be an entertaining season around the league once again. Anything else in the CFL, Huss? You want to talk some poker?
Well, I want to talk some poker, and I'm just looking to see, is Big Maple in the chat? I mean, it's Friday. We need to know where we go this week.
I am not seeing Big Maple.
All right. Well, Big Maple, he'll tweet us for sure. Keep an eye on Big Maple. What did he come through with last week? More than 11-1 parlay for the 25% boost.
You gotta ride with Big Maple on MMA stuff.
He's on a heater. Well, and again, if people if you're new lock shoppers, great to have you with us. The UFC, like, I'm not a big UFC fan. I mean, I'll watch the big fights, but the no-brain bet of the week is the bet and get for UFC. It's a $25 bet on Saturday night on one of the fights, and you can do it. You can do a parlay. You can do whatever you want. If either way, on Monday after the weekend, you'll get a $25 free bet that you can use on whatever else. So it's basically a no-risk bet. If you win it, great. You're keeping that. You're still getting your $25 free bet. And if you lose, it's like a mulligan and getting back to a hockey or baseball or whatever you want after the weekend. You'll have that 25 to go on. So we've just been tailing Maple for the last little while. And
no reason not to.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been outstanding. Speaking of things that are going to be awesome on the weekend, Lock Shop Poker Series event number 8, 7 at least, maybe 8. It's going to be a good time. I'll be streaming it Sunday night, 7 o'clock Edmonton time, 8 o'clock Winnipeg time. You can watch and follow along on YouTube. If you would like to play with us, it's about $30 to get in. And you can play in your browser. You can play on your phone in your browser. I have the poker software downloaded, but the tournament is up and ready. You can register now. Go to coolbet.com, download the poker software. Just click on poker, and you just download it, search tournaments, search Lock Shop inside that tournament search bar, and you can find it. You can register. And Huss has been to the final table. I've been to the final table, but neither of us have been able to win this entire thing yet, Huss. So I'm looking forward to taking another run at it.
I got second. I got rivered by Randy D, who is known in the WST chat now as Randy River. And I know he'll be ready to go. I see Jen Cool's going to be good to go. Oh, Big Uke says this will be number 9.
Number 9. Wow.
So as we continue to grow the good times of the Lock Shop Poker Series, join us on Sunday night. And again, you can go in, like once you have when you're on the poker side of things, you just go to tournaments. There's a little magnifying glass, so you don't have to go through a million. Just put in lock. It'll pop right up. Boom, get your entries in. And there'll be a $100 bounty on my head, $100 bounty on Dusty's head. Remus is traveling that night, so you won't be able to take 100 by knocking him out. But sure there'll be another EST guy or two that'll be in there, and we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun with that. But yeah, even if you haven't done it before, what have you been waiting for? Join us on Sunday night. It's going to be a blast.
It should be a lot of fun. We're very much looking forward to that. What's coming up on WST today, Huss?
Well, the vibes are going to be high on Friday after that win. I mean, you know how it is, dude. It was going to be one of two things, and they were diametrically opposed. It was either going to be, oh my God, Dallas won again, Jets lost to Vegas again, it's 2 points, they got a game in hand, season's over, or like everyone's going to be wearing whites. They'll have their playoff gear ready for today's show. So we'll hear from Coach Scott O'Neill, and from post game last night, Connor Rabchak's going to be in with me for Ream. So we'll hit all the big stories from yesterday's game. I'm going to be talking to Johnny Junta from the Gate 14 pod on some Blue Jays. And I got to shout out him. He's a guy like us, another independent creator, although it's maybe even more impressive because he wasn't, working with one of the big companies before, really kind of started it organically. If you're a Jays fan, I mean, the passion that these guys have is incredible. But he just did a 1 hour sit down with Mark Shapiro.
No way.
The big boss. So they were floating that out on Twitter. That's going to drop on Sunday. So anyways, we're going to talk about the first week of the Jays and then a little bit more about this bit that's coming out. So looking forward to that. And then Hacksaw's going to jump on and he'll fill us in on rule changes in the National Football League, everything else going on. And then, of course, the marble race, ESTers, always welcome around, I guess, 1:45 your time is when we'll open it up, and exclamation mark marbles in the chat. And good luck to you. Good luck to you all.
Good luck to everybody, and good luck to everybody unless you're at the final table with Huss and I on Sunday night. Then I wish you the worst of luck. The worst of luck.
Ovi hat-trick tonight. Let's go.
Oh, man. Ovi hat-trick tonight would be the best way to start the weekend. That would be terrific. Tom Gazzola is going to be joining me. We got the oil stream coming up, recapping that win last night over the San Jose Sharks, and big win for Winnipeg last night as well. Huss will be doing the same on WST here at high noon. Huss, have a good show today, buddy, and we'll talk to you. I guess I'll see you in the chat on Sunday, and we'll have another lock shop on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Maybe we'll have some ways.